it's Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. I have another fun one from Van Halen today. I was gonna wait on this one, but you know, whatever. Let's just get this out of the way. This is such a great cover. It's my favorite cover that they did, and this just creates like a really cool guitar riff. Just how Eddie arranged this stuff is just really, really cool. We're gonna learn how to do "Oh Pretty Woman" by, well, obviously Roy Orbison first, but Van Halen kind of really made it their own. So we're doing the Van Halen version. All right, so before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and ring that notification bell so you'll know when I release a new video. And check out my Guitar Academy, please. You'll see the link in the description below. I've got a great community going over there. The Guitar Academy contains all my guitar courses, cover everything from complete beginner courses to courses, more advanced courses in improvisation, ear training, theory, technique, guitar tone, everything. So please go check it out. All right, so we are in tuned down a half step. So just like Van Halen did a lot, especially in the Roth era. So we are every string tuned down a half step to E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, E flat. And you'll be ready to go to play along with this video and the original recording. All right, so let's start here with this intro. All right, so that starts out with kind of the intro to the chorus, the beginning of the chorus. It's based around. So what I'm doing basically here is I'm just holding the second fret on the D and the G together. So I'm making it like an A sus2. So we have this, hitting the open A string, then the D string, so that's going to be the second fret on the D. Then the open B, and then over to the G string, so you're holding that there, obviously the second fret. And then to get to the F sharp and the bass, just put your thumb there on or you can put your index finger there if you're not very comfortable with that kind of stuff. I think Eddie uses his thumb. It's more comfortable for me to use the thumb anyway. Play the F sharp there in the bass now. And then you can kind of hit the D string again, and then open B, and then the G string again. So we have this. Now, throughout the song, just that section, he'll do a lot of variations there. Sometimes he'll pick a few more notes. He'll pick like this. Yeah. Kind of pick across the D and the G. So you can really do your own thing, or just kind of hang out and let them ring. So just hitting the low and then the B, G. Or it's one of those riffs, as long as you get that open B against that note on the A note on the second fret of the G string. Get those ringing together. It's hard to make it sound bad. And he'll do some slight variations, but so we can kind of go through every single little variation does. It's kind of not really worth it. Just do your own thing. So back to the A in the bass, then the F sharp. So this goes between A and F sharp in the bass. And then we get to that main riff. So that's going to start with, so that's this open E string twice, and then 4, 7, kind of palm muted there. And then it gets to the 5th fret there on the A string. It's a little harmonic on that note as well, and just some vibrato on it. And then we go to these harmonics at the 7th fret on the D and the G together. Play this, just natural harmonics. And a few little bar dips. So do that riff again, but now a different ending. You kind of just pull off to the A string and do a little bar dive, and then slide down the string. So we have this all together. All right, so from there, so that little ending where it's just that kind of bar dive on the A string and then slide down the strings, and then we get to the full version of that riff, which sounds like this. Or back to the vocals come in and they start with the chorus. So that riff is just kind of an extension. That same thing we did before, but then you go to the 4th on the D, shift down to the 2nd fret, then the open D. So you'll see people play this differently, like that, but Eddie actually goes. So then what you're going to want to do is you don't really need all of these strings in the chord, but it helps to have them down just in case. Basically, you're really wanting to aim for these top 2 strings, the open B and the open high E. And like Eddie does, I also like to do it this way because it gives them kind of that snappier feel. You hit them with 2 upstrokes. So then you have you're going to hold the 4th fret on the G and maybe just even the 2nd fret on the D. And those are really there just in case you don't hit that open G string, which will sound bad. So if you had that down, you don't run that risk and it's going to sound fine. So I'm just doing all downstrokes here. And then I hold that chord and do a couple upstrokes. I'm just really aiming for the top 2 strings. And then we start the riff without the open E's. So instead of the low E basically hitting twice, that's what those open E's, open B and open high E were doing. So and then we get to start back on the 4th fret. Just basically. All right, and now we get back to, now the vocals come in and the chorus, and it's that same riff starts it that we played at the beginning of the song, and then it goes on to add some other things. Sounds like this. So that's the first chorus. It's a little bit shorter than you'll hear it later on in the song. So we start with that same riff. Now here, after you've done that riff twice, we have this new. So basically that is gonna built around a D chord really. So it's an open D string. Now this is heavily palm muted here. Open D, then the 2nd fret on the G, 3rd fret on the B, and then back to the G string. And then we're gonna play 2-0 on the B, and then you can pick the G string 2nd fret a couple of times. So we have this. So, sorry. And then play one more time, 3-2-0 on the B, over to the 2nd fret on the G. So all together for that. Sorry. All right, and then we move it up to here. All right, so that hits the open E string, and you're gonna play 7 on the D, then 9 on the, I'm sorry, 7 on the G, it's a D note, sorry. 7 on the G, and then 9 on the D. And then we play 7 on the B, so you're doing a bar there, 7 on the B, and then as you come back down, you're gonna play 9 on the G, and then 9 on the D. Let's play this. So that timing is, he's kind of, timing's a little bit different. He kind of holds that top note. And then what he does is he just plays some double stops, goes back to the 7th fret on the G with the 9th fret on the D, and then plays it again, brings it back up to the 2 9s. So he kind of messes around with those two. And you'll see him pick across those a couple times later on in the song, but it's just like this pretty much. And then we do the same figure we did before. Except now he doesn't do that. He does this instead, which is just kind of picking 9 to start it and then play 7 on the D, hammer 9, pull back off the 7th, slide down to 6, over to 7 on the A. So we have all together for that end of the chorus. All right, so the whole chorus one more time. All right, then we go back to that same riff. And then we're back to the same chorus. So that second chorus is the exact same as the first one, except for that very last lick. Instead of doing this, Eddie comes down to the open position and does a hammer on a trill between the open D string and the 2nd fret. So it is. And then we're back to that main riff again. Mercy. All right, then we get to the bridge section. So we play through that real quick. The bridge section does have an overdub at the end of it with these octaves, which we'll cover in a second, but I'll do it without the octaves first, so it looks like this. All right, so that starts around a D minor chord first. Now he does do some kind of picking across it. I'm not going to get too in detail about this because he kind of does something different every time. Let's get through the chords first, and then I'll give you some ideas for how you can kind of do the arpeggiated picking, because he does a couple. There's some melodies in there, but let's get the chords first. So it's D minor to the G, and then he plays this. So that's based around a C chord at first. So we start with this. All you really need is the 3rd fret on the A string. Then you pick the G and then the 1st fret on the B. And then move the bass note down to the 2nd fret and repeat the same 3 notes. So now that's the 2nd fret on the A. So Now that takes it to an A minor chord. And once again here, it sounds like he's like, as you pick across the A, it starts as an A sus2, then it goes on to a regular A minor, then an A sus4, so there's a little melody there on the beat. So I know I'm getting into the melodies before I actually said I would, but it's, you know, it's just kind of, this part is really essential. Then we're back to the D minor again. So back to the D minor and the G. And then here we do this little, so that starts with a C major chord. So it's a full, you're gonna be playing the 3rd fret on the 3rd fret on the A string, and then borrowing the 5th fret across the D, G, and the B. So you're gonna chug on that a little bit, and then jump up here, which you're gonna just play that bar at the 5th fret now with your index finger, hammer on to make it an F major chord. So we're going from a C to an F. So that's hammer on the 7th fret there on the D string and the 6th fret on the B. And then back to the C. So we have this. And then we're back to the D minor again, to the G, and that same little figure we did earlier. I'm just kind of messing around. Like I said, the chords are really where it's at. And back to the D minor and the G again. And now we have this different ending, which is that C chord again. Because really, all you need is a C power chord, then to an A major chord. And then what he does is he goes to an F minor chord. And kind of just pick across it a little bit. To a D. And it kind of stays as a D power chord. So you're kind of just holding have the open D, 2nd fret on the G, 3rd fret on the B. You're not really kind of doing a major or minor off of it, so you're not really involved in the high E string. And it's at this part, when we get to the F sharp and the D, that's when those octaves come in, and you might be hearing that pretty well, so I'll cover that in a second. So it's a lot of the same chords repeated. So let's go, I'll play through the bridge real quick for you too. Here we go. All right, so those octaves, so when that F sharp gets in there, we hear this. So that's just sliding into the octave here at the 4th fret on the D string, 7th fret on the B. So you're gonna hold that shape. I'm just gonna call out the note that's at the index finger's at, the fret that the index finger's at, so you know where to go. So it slides to 6, up to 7, so we have this. And then you just slide 6 down to 4, and then 4 down to 2. So it's like, and like I said, when it comes to the actual arpeggiated chords, it's nothing overly. When he starts that first D minor, he does do a little melody there. But the D minor then plays the high E string 1st fret, open high E, and then the note on the 2nd fret. The 2nd string, the 3rd fret on the B string. So there'll be some of that around chords. So I like to just kind of do my own thing around the chords. Like, So here we just get to, after that bridge, we get to the riff, main riff 4 times. Remember, you hit those first 2 on the low E first, then those hits are now on the top 2 strings. So after the 4th time, they just hit the low E and just stop, and then we'll go back to the chorus. Now this chorus here is a little bit longer, and it's got more stuff at the end over this little section. So I'm going to play through this last chorus since it's a little bit longer. So it sounds like this. All right, so right there, so it's just basically extending that last little ending. So everything's the same up to it. But when we get up here now, we're basically gonna have 6 times that we're gonna play this. So the first time through, we do that, and with those 2 double stops, kind of working back and forth like we did before. So that's the first ending. Now the second ending, you basically go up, you want to bar across the top 3 strings, you want to get that high E string in there. So it just kind of does that. So that's the first and second ending. And then back to, again, we have the third ending. And this one's the trill again. And then the fourth ending is back to the same thing. That's in between this. Here, it sounds like he's not really picking that again. He just works between the double stops, but he's picking across it. So kind of like. Now the 5th time through of playing this is now that trill ending again. And then the 6th time doing it, we have the real ending. Wait. So that's just going, just hit an E power chord at the end of it. So altogether for that, basically the second half of that last chorus. And then we're back to that main riff again, which is pretty much like the, we start really kind of how they do in the intro. So right there, all that we did was we just ended it. We did that riff a few times. So it's playing it like the intro, but they kind of extended a little bit. Let's keep doing the riff. When they're doing that. And then we just end it with 2 hits on the A power chord. And that is the end of the track. Fun stuff to play. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick breakdown of Oh Pretty Woman. Wasn't planning on doing it this week, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw this one in there. But we're still going to finish Van Halen 1 by the end of the year. So got a couple of those tracks coming in December. All right, I'll see you guys then.